All right, I'm going to say this right now. I have been burnt out by the Dark Souls type games for a while, probably since around Sekiro's release. I give these type of games a try still, but my motivation to finish them are gone usually about 10 hours or so. So when I saw a top-down Souls-like game, my mind was like, maybe. But then I watched the trailer and it definitely piqued my interest. Early in the game, I was, of course, hesitant. Immediately, once I hit the character creation, I was like, what is that? Why is he so weird looking? Look at that. Oh my God. But once the first cutscene hit, I was very surprised and understood the surreal art direction. It looked amazing. It was weird. It was different. It gave this game its own identity, though. It really made it stand out. No Rest for the Wicked is developed by Moon Studios, the award-winning developers of Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and Will of the Wisps, and they have absolutely reignited my appreciation for Souls-like games. The combat in Wicked does not hold your hand after the introduction. The mechanics are really nothing groundbreaking, but they definitely feel good. You got your basic swing attack, power attack by holding down the button, a parry, a block, and dodge rolling. The hits from yourself and the enemies feel really heavy, so you can really feel every hit and attacks that are blocked thanks to the excellent sound design and combat. The way to use magic and skills in this game is by using the weapon that carries that said magic or skills. Whether it be a staff that can shoot fireballs or a bow and arrow that can shoot a barrage of arrows at a distance, this leaves for a lot of flexibility and experimentation with what you like to use, as long as you can handle the carry weight capacity. You want to use magic for a while? Equip the staff, shoot fire at them. You want to be a heavy hitter? Equip a heavy claymore and cut everything in half. If you want to keep your distance, use your bow. If you want agility and quick attacks, use what I love the most so far, the dual daggers. You throw in some blade oil on them to raise my damage, and I am potentially hitting as hard as a heavy weapon, as I'm, getting behind them and also adding crit damage to them. Combat really is the best part of Wicked. It can be fast, it can be steady, hard hitting, and definitely challenging. There's a big focus on one-on-one fights with occasional bouts with multiple enemies. It was my fault where I accidentally pulled too many at once and kind of screwed myself over. It's all about caution and planning. Once you get the hang of enemy patterns, it does get easier to parry and dodge them, but as you progress in story and in-game time, the world changes, enemies respawn, and eventually the areas become deadlier. In the beginning, I cleared the first area before hitting the first town, and felt confident that I could handle it from that point on with ease. But when I got farther into the story, harder enemies spawned into that area, making it much more challenging, making it more fun, and definitely extended the replayability in older areas. Playing on PC can be a bit of getting used to, so although I recommend using controller, keyboard and mouse are an option. Your character can eventually fast travel once you reach the town of Sacrament, the main hub where you buy items, upgrade weapons and armor, and even buy a home to store all the little goodies and crafting furniture. As you collect resources, you can upgrade Sacrament to open up more powerful items, weapons, craftables, and food recipes for healing and buffs. Leveling up is very similar to the Souls-like games where you'll be able to place 3 points per level into how you want to build your character. You have the usual strength, stamina, dex, health, carry weight stats, as well as faith, focus, intelligence for more magic and specialized weapon builds. Outside of Sacrament, there is a lot to explore and find. You'll definitely enjoy yourself if you stray off the road paths. There's broken trees for bridges, hidden tunnels, waterfalls, ledges. Looking at the map, it doesn't look like much, but it's dense with enemies and loot to find, along with resources. Speaking of resources, they're well worth the work getting them. Chopping down trees, killing wildlife for meat, go fishing, mine for minerals. It's all to upgrade not just the town, but your weapons and armor, and a lot more. Now, my copy of Wicked is early access. Although I'm not crazy about the practice of releasing a game early before it's fixed, I can at least look past its faults and see the big picture, and I see massive potential. One of the problems with the game is that sometimes those beautiful weather effects can bog down the frame rate when there's a lot of combat going on. The game also doesn't do a very good job at explaining much of anything, like descriptions for how your spells work, runes to equip your weapons, and those runes give you skills and spells for those weapons or weapon skills themselves. I didn't know that you can overcharge your bow, and when I released it, it sent me flying off an elevator, killing me. Lesson learned, but did I have to learn that way? I also didn't know the game was multiplayer, but wasn't implemented yet. So the introduction of a community chest had me confused and worried that some random person would jump on my game and steal my stuff. At that point, I didn't know I would eventually have access to buy large loot chests for my own personal stash. Again, it's another example of some things that really should be explained rather than me having to research it. Some things are fun to find out alone, but some things are better left said. Lastly, I think this is more of a nitpicky thing for myself, but I think the stamina meter needs to be below the health on the top left screen, not on the character. With a lot possibly going on screen, it's hard to see or even keep track of it. Like, I don't have the best eyesight. Not everyone has the best eyesight to keep track of those things. Overall, this has really shaped up to be a contender for a game of the year for me if Moon Studio continues to be receptive to their fans, which they have been. No Rest for the Wicked has the whole package. Good voice acting, good story, incredible art style, challenging combat, and an immersive world building that keeps pulling you in deeper with every play session. It's a testament to Moon Studio's dedication to their craft and their commitment to delivering an unforgettable gaming experience. Definitely recommend.